Let me know if you're bullish on the chart that is right behind me, Harry Potter cloak. Take a look at it. It's the daily chart. It goes back about a year, about 12 months of price action. Are you bullish on this chart? Quickly make up your mind. All right, that is the inverse of Bitcoin's chart. So on TradingView, you can simply click Alt-I to make that happen. If you are bullish, then your eyes naturally think, and from the chart, that price is going to break it down and hit that gray line right there, which is the next origin line down. If you thought that perhaps it needs a pullback, maybe to this line, which is also a trend line to this point and this point, which would be about 21K. If you think that it needed a pullback before continuing bullish pattern, then you're naturally thinking that we're going to get a fake out to the upside, which would be a nice bullish higher low on this chart, right? Before then going down. I think both cases are pretty common responses, and I think they're both realistic. So let's take a dive into Bitcoin, and we're going to turn the chart back around and analyze. Are you ready? Let's get it. All right, I'm going to hit Alt-I to go back to the chart. I'm going to start this video off by showing you the midterm / the larger time frame on what is really going on right now. These are origin lines that you see on the chart. This is pretty bare naked stuff. Origin line here, here, and here. Bitcoin almost always, well, always minus one time when price was fabricated and manufactured in May through July 2021. Outside of that one instance in all of Bitcoin history, the same rules with these lines has the same rule has always applied and hasn't been broken but once. When price goes under it and gets rejected by a daily candle, then heads down. The biggest type of move that you can get to the upside before touching this, so without the next origin line down being hit, is a failure pattern above this line. And we've already gotten one. That doesn't mean we can't get a failure pattern then a rejection pattern up here, which technically would hit the same horizontal as this if that were to happen. That's still in line with macro rules. And I feel extremely confident Bitcoin will follow this rule, right? And really what Bitcoin could do is, it's possible that this low and again, don't misinterpret what I'm saying here. I don't think that what I'm about ready to show you is the most likely scenario. I'm simply showing you ways Bitcoin can move within these lines, okay? It is possible that this is the ultimate low and Bitcoin simply hits this line without breaking that. So let me draw a horizontal from that point over. And see, it didn't go under this low here. So it doesn't, just to satisfy these rules that likely will play through, doesn't mean Bitcoin has to make new lows ever. It could follow the rules and then get back above this line at some other point in the future. Does that make sense? And it's possible that Bitcoin could hit this line and play around in here for quite a while, then head down, right? So in general, this is the most macro view that you can get, or most macro lines. So we're kind of zoomed in over the last 130 days to this point. This is a 130-day consolidation point. All right, so now, remember that trend line that I pointed to when it was upside down? That is the trend line right here. And if you want to see this on the micro chart, take a look at what is happening right now with Bitcoin. So this is what I have going on in my live chart that I offer Monday through Friday to my YouTube tiers, and the links to that, you can hit the join button right beside the subscribe button below this video, and a 90-second video will pop up describing what that is. And then also it's offered to my Discord tiers as well, or both Discord tiers, and follow me on Twitter at Cosasverdes with the number 2, because I post the public link for this Saturday through Sunday, so all of YouTube can see it. But Monday through Friday, the live chart is private. All right, so this is the same line right here that I was talking about, pointing at the very beginning of the video when it was upside down and just now. Same line, that's what price is touching right now. Okay, now let's go back out to the maybe 4-hour chart. No, let's go to the daily chart. Okay, so what we just did is we went from mid/macro view down to the micro view to see this. But we need to piece some things together on the big view before we go in and decide, hey, what are our pivot points when we decide this macro avenue becomes more probable than the other one, right? And literally right now, unfortunately, there are 3 almost evenly probable scenarios. And I know it sucks for you to hear this, but it's a very valuable statement if you realize that there isn't a lot of certainty right now. That means not chopping up your account by playing in uncertain times. Could go up, could go down, could go sideways. Personally, I think the shit's going to go sideways for the rest of October and then go down with one trap into it, which means sideways, up, then down. That's my personal guess. But let's walk through this because I'm not just going to try to, in this video, so new viewers, I'm not going to simply try to justify what I'm seeing. I'm going to show you what my guess is. This would trigger it to become probable, and this is the exact thing you'll see when it becomes improbable. Does that make sense? All right. Okay, now let's throw on the most, the biggest go-to indicator in all of crypto and perhaps at any price of anything is the weekly 10 EMA. All right, I have it on the daily chart, but this is the weekly 10. A lot of times in a bear market, you'll have the weekly 10 or the daily 21 as your, I guess, baby bull. So the daily 21 is your baby bull trap area. So price would go up to touch it, then head down. So it's already past that, this yellow line. So that's kind of not our line anymore. The next line we have that whales will pay attention to, and it will be a pivot point on price, is the weekly 10. So the idea of a rejection way up here, okay, happening, or yeah, a move way up here. So that's closer to 23K by the time it would get up there. And it is in play. I'm telling you, this is in play. However, it's not probable. It has not triggered a probable scenario. And the trigger point for that, it's so that this, if you want to envision it like a triangle, let me go till November 1st. So we can also see the timing. November 1st, right there. Boom. So the end of this triangle right here is November 1st, okay? And we have this triangle forming right here. And again, I don't like to do pattern stuff, but just so you can see what I'm seeing here, so the chart looks, cleaner. All right, and then November 1st happens right here, okay? So this is what's happening right now. All right, so literally Bitcoin is going sideways in this area here. So in order for one to feel that it's not going to go sideways anymore as the most probable thing, you got to get above the red line, which, see how this red line essentially is forming the top of the triangle? So if you're under there, you're still going sideways. So as of right now, because price is under the red and above the bottom of the triangle, the most likely scenario is honestly more sideways, which is why that's my guess. Sideways for the rest of this month, then some type of fake out to the upside, then head down either around the end of the month, around the beginning of November candle. Okay, with plus or minus 3 days within there, right? I really think it's going to boil down to this October closing / November opening candle. So price is going sideways in the definition of, I guess, this triangle. And price could even wick up to 20. Let's see, how high would that be? Let's say even a wick to 20,400, 20,500. That's still sideways. Now, if you start getting daily closures at that level, well, then that's going to trigger a probability flip. So there, at that point, once price can start getting some closures up there, or on the small time frames, the way I like to see it, I don't like to work with closures anymore, right? Although you'll see closures, if the way I like it happens, is small candles get above there, like 5-minute candles, it bounces and then makes a new local high on the 5-minute chart. At that exact moment, I've done that a million times on my channel. So new viewers, you might just watch my previous video. You'll see me, literally map out what that looks like, but I'm not going to do it right now. So until price can get above the weekly 10 and bounce on it, sideways is the most likely. Until price breaks below this level down here, about, it's probably not quite that low, around 18K, then downside is not the most probable. So if price is under here, above here, it's going sideways, and it's more probable to continue going sideways until it changes. It's just two things to look at. We'll have more things to look at when one of these breaks. And the upside target for this is this origin line right here. Is it guaranteed to hit that? No. A trap can just be, touching its head in this black triangle. That's fine too. A nice big failure pattern above that, that's going to trap a lot of people, then it can head down, right? So it doesn't mean it has to hit this, but it would be the next target on when I would have interest in becoming short. Does that make sense? All right. Now, let's go down to the micro time frames now that we know what we're looking at from a bigger lens. I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. I'm going to throw on the daily 21 and the daily 10 EMA. Because to the downside, these are like our moving targets, right? So right now, the only things in play, and honestly, if you want to throw this on your chart, you might want to. And on air, how about I do this? Right here, I have listed literally everything that is in play. The September candle open and horizontal around 20,000. It actually kind of goes like this. Boom. It's a $100 range essentially. Between 19,950 to 20,050. It's a $100 box, but the September candle is there. If you put all of this on your chart, and the weekly 10, there you go, right there. Everything is labeled. These are the only things in the meantime that are going to make price do something. It's pivot points. Either bumps its head or gets on top, then uses as support, then goes up, or goes down to it, makes a lower high, then crashes below it. These are all your pivot points right now. Here, let me make myself small here. So new viewers, I'm telling you, this is when you smash the like button, you subscribe and hit all alerts, because I'm telling you, this is literally all that's in play on the micro time frame. And price will need to interact with each of these levels before it breaks above the weekly 10 EMA or breaks below that lower point of the triangle. And you'll be able to see the probabilities get either flip or to get better. Does that make sense? But anywhere between here, literally on this whole screen, it's still on the larger time frames. That's still in the definition of sideways, even though on this micro time frame chart, it looks like that's going up and that's going down. But really, if you zoom out, it's going sideways. Making sense? So, the price, all things are relative on time frames. So if you're on the 1 minute or 5 minute chart, yeah, going up to this line, even though that's sideways, that's a tradable move for sure on leverage. Absolutely. But just realize that the whole sideways thing, the reason why that's profitable is because it helps you with your profit taking, right? Instead of seeing yourself in profit, then expecting it to go to 25K, then it comes down and you get stopped out at break even or at a loss, right? So the sideways thing, I promise you it's profitable if you know how to use it correctly. And again, if you're new, you need all these levels on your chart. And if you don't know how to make them disappear in an object tree, similar to how I'm getting ready to do right now, then you can go ahead and click this video right here if you want to see how to set up a chart just like mine, and click this playlist right here to see some of the most important videos in crypto that I've ever made. You just got Timified worldwide.